right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
We're just hours away from a controversial drone surveillance program taking flight. And tonight, more St. Louisans are joining the fight to ground them.
Temperatures once again well above average into the mid-50s today despite cloud cover and very little sunshine. What that means for the rest of the weekend if we'll see this hang around for another 7 days.
First, developing now. A teen wanted for murder escapes the St. Louis Juvenile Detention Center.
That's not fair. That's not justice.
Tonight, the mother of his alleged victim is demanding answers. Right now, police still searching for that 17-year-old who was being held on second-degree murder charges. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. It's been more than 24 hours since the teen's escape from the Juvenile Detention Center on Enright, and authorities still have not released his name to the public. 5 on Your Side's Annie Krall joins us live. She's been pressing police on why, and she's the only reporter who talked to the mother of the man the teen is accused of killing. Annie.
Well, exactly. Sources tell our I-team that 17-year-old boy is facing murder and assault charges. We've asked police and the Judicial Circuit multiple times for releasing his name or even pictures of him due to the public safety concern. They've told us they cannot because he is a minor. The victim's mother, though, strongly disagrees after what she saw on October 24th in Penrose.
My baby was laying on the ground, trying to gasp for air to catch his breath.
On October 24th, 20-year-old Calvin Kelly was shot and killed outside a market on Shreve in North St. Louis. His mother was nearby and ran to his side.
He got blood clots coming out and everything else. I'm just talking to him like, Calvin, breathe. Like, Calvin, I'm right here. Like, Calvin, I'm not leaving your side.
The 17-year-old arrested for Kelly's murder has been held at the Juvenile Detention Center since December 8th. A statement from the 22nd Judicial Circuit said police and court staff are reviewing how he escaped. Surveillance footage showed he rolled under a security gate in the parking garage. The victim's mom, Naisha Stewart, found out on social media nearly 16 hours later that her son's accused killer had escaped.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed off because somebody's supposed to be watching this little boy 24 hours a day and he gets to escape. Like, that's not fair. That's not justice.
This isn't the first time something like this has happened at this facility or the detention center on Hogan Street. 5 on Your Side has reported on more than a dozen teens getting away from the facilities since 2021. Stewart questioning the security levels of the center as she continues to grieve.
My son had to be cremated because it was hard coming up for the money to bury my son. Like, all I have to go by today, on this day right now, is just his pictures or looking at his ashes. It's not fair. It's not right.
Now, sources again tell our I-team that the murder suspect was last seen wearing green pants, a gray shirt, and black and white shoes. He also has a swollen lip and a black right eye. If you have any information about the escapee, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, which is 866-371-TIPS. For now, though, reporting live in St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on Your Side.
And tonight, St. Louis police are looking for the person who shot and killed a man in a South City park. The man was found shot in the head last night in Marquette Park in Dutchtown. The victim has not been identified yet. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Ferguson police now have a person of interest in custody in connection to a deadly shooting at Forestwood Park. 47-year-old Daryl Shannon of Jennings was found shot in the parking lot yesterday afternoon. Charges have yet to be filed. A 14-year-old boy is recovering tonight after a shooting in North St. Louis. This happened just before 4 this morning near Floyd and Emma in the Walnut Park West neighborhood. Police say the teen was inside a car when he was shot in his side and arm. He was taken to the hospital. No arrests have been made. Just 12 hours before, a 13-year-old girl in Alton was shot while standing on a porch. Shooting happened just before 3 Saturday afternoon near Highland and Silver. Tonight, the girl remains in serious condition at a St. Louis hospital. Counseling psychologist Dr. Jamaica Cooper tells 5 on Your Side the impact of youth violence is more than just physical wounds.
When crime, violence, trauma, any of that occurs at a young age, it makes it difficult to develop, become an adult, and see the world as a normal, safe place. It's really devastating. It's sad, and I can't help but think about the long-term impacts for these young people.
Police in both cases are asking anyone with information to please come forward. Tomorrow, the private company planning to launch a live drone streaming service over the St. Louis sky is scheduled to take flight. New tonight, 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski found even more residents are now getting involved and speaking out against the program.
Mike, this all started in the Gravois Park neighborhood when SMS Novel Films announced it would be testing out its drone surveillance there. The founder says he's since backed out of that neighborhood, but that has now raised red flags for residents in other parts of the city.
Gravois Park resident Sarah Crossley says the idea of drones surveilling their homes and streets has been a major concern for her and her neighbors over the past few weeks.
At one point, part of the proposal to us was that we could be paying kind of an exorbitant amount per hour to have surveillance by drone at request. And to me, that felt wrong. That's not how public safety should work.
The concerned residents canvassed their neighborhoods, started a petition against it, and worked with their alderpersons to advocate for a law to prevent this kind of thing. The founder of SMS Novel Films says while they won't be in the Gravois Park neighborhood, they didn't say where they'd be going, only that they have a right to take to the skies.
We have to take a stand against unjust laws that contradict FAA, that prevent us from being able to fly or to start businesses. So, again, let the aldermen do what they will. We're willing to communicate. We're willing to help educate because a lot of individuals don't know these laws.
Alderwoman Alicia Saunier says the measure will be compliant with the FAA.
Municipalities have the right to do legislation around anything that protects people's privacy, protects people's safety, protects them from harm.
Dutchtown resident Dallas Adams says she's worried her neighborhood could be next as they're right next to Gravois Park and it may make people feel even more unsafe.
I mean, when you're in over-policed neighborhoods, think of some of the ways that they surveil us. Like they have the towers with the red and blue blinking lights at all hours of the day. Our lights are brighter if they are in lit areas. And all of that has an effect on a human being. So yeah, having a drone just going around your street up and down where you're trying to walk your dog or you're just trying to walk to the store, get to transit, could incite a lot of fear. Why are you following me?
SMS Novel plans to fly the drones for up to 3 hours starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow. The founder reached out to me yesterday saying they received threats from people claiming they'll shoot them down. I did not hear back from him on whether or not this will change their plans, but the website says launch is still moving forward tomorrow.
Tonight, St. Louis firefighters are still on the scene of a massive warehouse fire in downtown to put out hot spots. The 4-alarm fire broke out around 6 yesterday morning. A plume of smoke could be seen for miles as massive flames engulfed the 5-story abandoned warehouse at First and O'Fallon. There are no reports of injuries. The cause remains under investigation. The city of St. Louis has secured housing for displaced seniors from the Heritage House through the end of the month. Some will be placed in a hotel in the Central West End, the others at the downtown West End. City officials tell 5 on your side public and private funds will cover the costs. The seniors were forced from their high-rise apartment building last month due to burst pipes and flooding. We're told it won't reopen for a year. Developing tonight, a bipartisan group of senators have announced a deal that addresses the migrant crisis at the southern border and will provide foreign aid to Ukraine and Israel. The $120 billion funding package includes $20 billion to addressing needs at the border. $60 billion would go towards Ukraine and another $24 billion to Israel. The White House is calling on Congress to immediately pass the legislation.
This is one of the most important pieces of legislation that the Senate has seen in years and years and years. And we cannot let politics get in the way of passing this legislation.
Hawley of Missouri calls it an open borders bill that will allow undocumented migrants to obtain immediate work visas. Even if the Senate passes the bill, it's likely dead on arrival in the House. The deal was announced just hours after Missouri Governor Mike Parson joined more than a dozen other Republican governors at Eagle Pass, Texas, to talk about the wave of illegal border crossings. Tonight on X, Parson promised more support to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, including sending more members of the Missouri National Guard to the southern border. A guiding light for a blind first grader.
She's just absolutely loves Gage just as much as we do.
How a dedicated school employee and his classmates are giving a master class on making a difference. A heads up if you drive 55. Tonight, we're helping you avoid the cone zones to stay on the move.
Looking out west, it's an impressive system of rain and snow with this atmospheric river, a powerful low pressure center. What that means for us in bringing our rain chances the rest of the week, and if it will change our overall weather pattern ahead.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
In a small town about 65 miles from St. Louis, a first grade class is changing the way we think about inclusion. As you'll learn in tonight's Making a Difference report, how classmates and a dedicated paraprofessional are weaving a tapestry of acceptance for one young student. At Kingston Primary in Cadet, Missouri, one student's journey has been brightened by a guiding light.
Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
This is Christy Ward's first grade class, where 7-year-old Gage Blumner fits in because he stands out.
I'm sorry, 2-0.
He is a very spirited little guy, very inquisitive.
The monkey's fluffy.
Gage is legally blind.
Where's the letter T?
But his classmates have embraced his unique perspective.
They have just latched on to Gage, and they're jump out to help him, but yet not do things for him.
Gage was born with a disorder called congenital cataracts, where the lens of the eye is cloudy instead of clear at birth.
He's had 14 or 15 eye surgeries, and one of those eye surgeries, his pressure went really high in his eyes, and that messed up his vision.
That means there's no guarantee he'll retain the limited sight he still has.
Good job. Drop down. You're at the end of your paper.
But a helping hand is making sure Gage has a vision for success.
Got room for one more.
For the past 2 years, paraprofessional Lauren Doherty
Good job. B.
has been Gage's daily dose of support.
I try and be as invisible as I can, so he is listening to what he's getting from the teachers. And then if I need to kind of relay a message a little different than how the teacher is doing it, then I'll be either right next to him or more quiet, telling him or showing him something that I had already adapted for him. Drop down one more.
She's by his side all day long, but this alliance goes beyond the expected.
You could see it in her face whenever Gage gets dropped off in the morning. She just absolutely loves Gage just as much as we do.
And you're going to stay on the green.
And perhaps because Mrs. Doherty is a mom too, her dedication seems more heart than duty. In fact, she's now learning to read and write in Braille.
And what other word could we make with and?
Right alongside Gage.
She's now going to college to become a trained vision instructor, and there's such a need for those, especially in rural communities.
Can you show me ST?
Nurturing each school day with a gentle touch.
There you go.
Kids need to know that they're cared about and that they can trust you. And she has definitely solidified that with him.
Go ahead and drop down. You're at the end of your paper.
Paraprofessional Lauren Doherty.
Good job.
Gently guiding Gage to see a brighter and more inclusive tomorrow.
She has a big heart and she cares a lot.
Lauren says the goal every day is to make sure Gage knows he can do anything he puts his mind to. A reminder, if you know someone making a difference for others, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com. Well, Mardi Gras season is here, and today the party in Soulard went to the dogs. Thousands packed the streets for the annual Purina Pet Parade. Organizers say it's the largest costume pet parade in the world. All proceeds from the Purina Pet Parade benefit the Open Door Animal Sanctuary, and it was followed by the popular Wiener Dog Derby. For the humans, there was the Taste of Soulard. It featured the Cajun flavors and drink specials from dozens of bars and restaurants in the neighborhood. And the beads will be flying in Soulard next weekend. The Bud Light Grand Parade is next Saturday at 11 a.m. Floats will head down South Broadway from Busch Stadium to the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Another mild day. Meteorologist Gary Frank joins us now with that weather first forecast. We're all wondering how long this is going to continue. It is February
I
after
know.
all, Gary.
And last February was so warm, and we're starting off that same type of thing. The first few days warm, and the next few days I don't really have any frigid air in sight. So even if it's going to get cooler or close to normal, it's not anything that's really going to impact you that much. Still very mild, but we do have mostly dry conditions this week, as we have a couple of rain chances that will mix in as well. It's dry. You'll start off your week pretty quiet here as we head into the overnight hours. So as we look downtown, it is pleasant. We still have that northeast breeze overall that's still picking up, and I think for the most part you're going to continue to see pretty decent conditions overall. As temperatures are well above freezing at this hour, keep in mind 44 degrees with a northeast breeze, 39 is what it feels like, but 39 in the morning, that's where we were. There were 14 degrees above normal. For me, that's the key. We've had obviously a very warm day to start the month of 72, but 25 is our normal. It's still supposed to be very cold in the morning. We don't have any of those days on the way. Now, there are going to be some spots that are a little cooler tomorrow because we don't have that cloud cover and we have that north breeze. So keep that in mind. It will be a little cooler. But by tomorrow afternoon, a few high clouds will drift in from the northwest, and then fog develops Tuesday morning. But otherwise, it's quiet, and we're actually going to look at a pretty nice day. We do see that breeze pick up out of the northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So that's going to make 52 feel a little cooler, but with more sunshine, that's really all that matters. It's still, like I mentioned, about 10 degrees above normal. So it's what's going on out west. And this doesn't look like too much right now, but when I show you the radar and satellite imagery with all the snow in the mountains and Tahoe and Sierras, significant wind gusts over 80 miles an hour. They canceled the golf tournament. It's a whole mess. There's a lot of flooding. This will continue over the next 24 hours or so, but it's this system that's eventually going to drift a little bit further off, and it's not going to look exactly like this. In fact, once it hits the Great Basin, goes over the Rockies, it weakens a little bit, but I want to show you this pattern that's set up because this rain essentially sat south of us. And why did this go? Why did this sit here and never make it here? Well, I want to show you the big map because, for the most part, we have high pressure here. We have that low sitting here. We have a different low sitting well off the coast of really New York and areas in the Northeast, but then we have that one that I just mentioned. So we got all these weather features where high pressure here, so it doesn't really know where to move. So there's some features that are getting ironed out. We'll be warm and dry in the short term as high pressure wins out, and then we'll start to tap into that one. That's going to cool us off and give us a little bit of a rain chance. Overall, though, it's not going to bring us that much rain. It looks a lot weaker, and I think we'll probably get upwards of 2/3 of an inch of rain through the middle of next week. Overall, though, there are those 60s, low to mid 60s, that is. And even as we cool down into next week, we're still 2 to 3 degrees above normal.
I'm Paul Cook, your traffic guy on Today in St. Louis. We are on the move. The beleaguered stretch of Highway 55 between 270 and South City continues to produce delays and other surprises. And I have updates for you. About a week ago, drivers began to encounter a large sinkhole at the bottom of the ramp from 55 South to Bates Road, so crews immediately closed that ramp.
This one had a bigger space open underneath it. That's a big red flag for us. It means we're closing a lane immediately and looking for other evidence that we might need to close more.
As they work on it, they plan for another 2 weeks before it's fixed.
So we're hoping for a quick turnaround on this one.
So with that Bates ramp closed, if you're traveling south, you can exit before Bates at Broadway or continue south and exit at Loughborough as a detour. The Bates sinkhole comes about a month after MoDOT announced big delays in the $63 million I-55 resurfacing project at Loughborough, just a few exits away from Bates. A contractor damaged girders while stripping the pavement. And an update on that big 55 project. Andrew Gates from MoDOT told me as weather permits, crews will open up one lane southbound between I-44 and Gasconade. The remaining southbound lane will be closed, as will the ramp from Lafayette to the interstate. So you'll need to be patient. MoDOT's website says we should expect closures and work on that long stretch of interstate through 2024. Watch Today in St. Louis each morning, and I'll keep you updated. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
The U.S. retaliates in the Mideast. Tonight, the message President Biden is delivering to Iran. New video tonight of the U.S. Central Command Force carrying out joint strikes in Yemen this weekend. The United States and the United Kingdom struck 36 Houthi targets in 13 locations. The retaliatory strikes are a warning to Iran and the militias it funds from carrying out more attacks against U.S. forces in the Mideast. When arriving in Las Vegas today for a campaign stop, President Biden was questioned by reporters about the military strikes.
Are the airstrikes working? Yes.
The attacks are said to be unrelated to Friday's drone strikes, which were in retaliation for a drone strike that killed 3 American soldiers in Jordan. The father of Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been arrested on suspicion of driving while under the influence. Patrick Mahomes Sr. was arrested last night in Tyler, Texas. This comes just 1 week before his son plays in the Super Bowl, and it's the 3rd DWI arrest in 6 years for the former Major League pitcher. In 2019, he served 40 days in jail. Some drama tonight at the Grammy Awards. Rapper Killer Mike was taken away in handcuffs just moments after winning 3 awards in the pre-show telecast. TMZ reports he was detained by Los Angeles police for an incident between him and a security guard. Speaking of the Grammy Awards, a big night for a St. Louis star. SZA led the nominations. How many gold gramophones she took home tonight? A big night at the 66th Grammy Awards for a singer-songwriter from St. Louis. So far, SZA has taken home 2 trophies. She won for Best Urban Contemporary Album for SOS and the Best R&B Song for Snooze. She's also up for the coveted Album of the Year award. She received a total of 9 nominations, the most of any artist this year. A big day tomorrow for St. Louis sports fans. Just hours from now, the new United Football League will release the schedule for the Battlehawks. We already know the first game of the newly merged league will be March 30th. That'll be between the USFL champion Birmingham Stallions and the XFL champion Arlington Renegades. The Battlehawks, the St. Louis Battlehawks, averaged more than 35,000 fans per game last season, more than double the average of the old XFL. And for the first time this season, fans can buy seats in the 400 level at the Dome at America Center. And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And now, here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.